Good morning. Good morning. Ah, okay. Okay, good morning. Hyoncho Sancho Rinpoche Mahi Panam Hijurchi, Hipa Nyamba Mepa, Koni Kondon Perasho, Niji Chimbo to Deni Mechi, Zoni Mamam Chimbo, Najata, Pekartangon Santu Sharmo do Tumba to J General. Hyonsa Lo Sorban Dip, Dosun Roblon, Chula Yer. Susan Dunga Gender, Changing Chen, Yasume, Hiwajilla. Saint Jetan, the near the Dachana, Tamba Nanjun to Tsar the souls, Dosu Senchen, Tamchi. Namchen Lana Mepa, Yontapa, Zopsonji, Compound Rumboching, Gopa Hyand. Hyoncho the 2 hit December here. Then, good morning. And please remind yourself about the kindness mind, bodhicitta, to think about all the sentient beings' situation. And Buddha Shakyamuni, he said that to take example yourself, do not hurting or harm to the others. And all the sentient beings, the same as you, ourselves. And the same way are they concerning happiness, same way we are, they also try to avoid sufferings. This kind of the alternate task, riddance and realization or achievement, and whole their life and lifetimes struggling and try to collect the cause of happiness and try to avoid cause of the sufferings. This way are everybody same. And then it's like really we are research which is the best cause of the happiness for others, for our own sake, benefit. That is the single thoughts, the thoughts of the kindness, compassion. And this is like very, very easy. We don't need to buy, we don't need to collect, and we don't need to search. We don't need to go to pick up some, it's like from place. It's just wherever we are be, and wherever our body, speech, mind is there, we immediately to create these thoughts. And if naturally occurring into our mind, we need to give present to our mind some. We need to appreciate to our mind, to say, thank you, mind. You really is like kind of your thoughts, your body, your feature, and your essence, your activity is involved, or that kind of entirely kindness, compassion. Wonderful. And you received such happiness, comfortable, never need to cry. And if you, with the mind, which is the mind. You work with compassion, kindness, love to others, and also other your families, friends, societies, how much they receive happiness from you. You can tremendous help, or it's a measurable help, inconceivable help to the others. Wonderful. We call you the heart of enlightenment, heart of the perfect, heart of the example, heart of the victorious. We can to say, you are good mind. We need to say to our own mind. And of course, mind is very stubborn. Says like very difficult to think about the other sentient beings. I'm many years, almost at the beginning and right now. I have habitual tendencies, patterns concerning myself. And also it's like very strong patterns, self-centered. Whatever I do only benefit myself. This makes me more comfortable and easy. Yes, that is maybe it's truth, but you more problem mind, you have more misery, you have more samsaric sufferings injured to you. But you say it's like, okay, this is your habitual tendencies, your tendencies you won't do. But the result, the consequences occurring, the samsaric defects, you cry. You such a kind of making the sound of the lamentation sound. That is like obvious. In order to help yourselves, also it's better to generate bodhicitta. Of course, mind. Who is the mind? Mind is ourself. Who is telling to the mind? Ourself. There's no kind of the true person, but you can to act the true persons. Therefore, we need to give education ourselves, the education of the bodhicitta, and compassion, kindness. And through these educations, we need to make mind perfect, pure, peace, inconceivable mind. And like this, now we are like kind of studying extraordinary books. They call the word of my perfect teacher. It has 3 main chapters. Common external preliminary preparations session, and now is the extraordinary inner preliminary sessions. It itself has 6 chapters, and then it's like last the session is the Powa, but we are in the middle session, the extraordinary preliminary practice sessions. This is the first chapter, taking refuge, the foundation stone of all the teachings and the paths. And to take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha, and a very special way, very particularly way, the way of the Mahayanas, and like kind of great beings way, or the traditions. And they have the particularly motivation. It is like concerning all the sentient beings. And also it's like concerning the consequence, achievement, it's like heart of the enlightenment, forever happiness, permanent happiness. We want to establish all the sentient beings into that state. This is particularly motivation. And also the Mahayana tradition, particularly durations. This duration is like, and this from moment, and this timers, when we like kind of taking refuge, until that we become the heart of the enlightenment, become the perfect Buddha. And then it's a particularly object, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and particularly object of the Buddha is a kind of in like a Buddha which is the endowed with the true pure kayas, Dharma kaya and the Rupa kayas, and completely uncompleted two goals, self, others. And that is like kind of the fully, entirely enlightened ones. We are like particularly teacher, particularly the object of the Buddha. And particularly Dharma, and this is like kind of the Buddha himself, and the Sangha also, particularly Sangha, the Bodhisattva Sangha, and someone's reached the third the path of the seeing, and the first booming, and the from the first booming until the 10th last boomies, those Bodhisattvas and Buddhas had the realization of the Dharma. That is the particularly object of the Dharma. This like kind of the particularly object of the source of the refugee, Buddha, Dharma, Sanghas. And that is the like Mahayana's particularly object of the three jewels. And then now we understood this, and also when we are talking about these refugees, first how to take refuge, and first is like the motivation, and the second is like I think how to take the refuge. And then this is like after that we're talking about the particularly three things. Then now it's like actually like kind of the way to be ready to take in the refuge in the front of the teacher or the front of the Buddha Bodhisattvas. Of course, difficult physically Buddha and Bodhisattvas to be in front of the us, but in a visualize. We need to visualize. And this visualization, like kind of the thinking a little imaginate way, and that is the part of the creation stage. And this is antidote for our like kind of conceptual habitual tendencies. And also this is like kind of purification of the negative habitual tendencies, changing process of the negative habitual tendencies. And therefore, the visualization is very, very important. And also it's like a particularly methods in order to make peace mind, calm mind, and like kind of in order to capture the mind, this kind of the analysis or the analytical meditation, It is very important. Visualize. And yesterday we stopped this sentence. It is said, consider that the place where you are is all a Buddha field. That is the very much important. Consider, to imagine, to think, wherever you live, wherever you sit, wherever you be, the place where you are. Maybe you are in the city, maybe you are in the solitude place, or you are in your at home, and you are in the temple, or you are in the Rocky Mountains, or you are in the jungle. Wherever you are, it's all a Buddha field. Buddha field. Buddha field. Like Buddha field. Buddha field. That we need to visualize it. And it's yesterday we called the visualize the field of the merit in the present of the which you will take refuge. Now we need to consider this field. Field is like kind of a ranch, something kind of the landscape, and like kind of the like some different universal continent, you can to say. And presently in the conceptual, in the negative mind's perspective, okay, we are living in this world, in the blue planet, we are living in here. We see a lot of pollutions, dirties, and there are kind of the such impurity things. That is like maybe externally our continent is, maybe you say, this is not Buddha field. How I can to visualize Buddha field in this impurity field? Of course, you can't to say like this in the conceptual viewpoint, because you can't to see. Like for instance, some person has liver sickness and particularly problem the gallbladder, and then whatever you see, the white things, yellow. There's example. You look at the conch, snow mountains, it's only you perceive yellow. Someone says conch and snow mountains are white. You can say, no, I perceived it's yellow. Then you cannot argue. And other ones saying it's like really truth. This person has no sickness. But when you have the sickness, you can't see the white is as white. White is yellow. But others says this is not white, it's yellow. Said you don't believe because I'm seeing it. But you like take the medicine and cure your disease, then it's the white things become really white. Then you say, I thought it was yellow, but now it's the white. That moment you have confidence, you can really to see, oh, actually it's truth, white. Like this, at the moment we say you should to visualize Buddha field in all your environmental and inner sentient beings, whatever you see, sound, smell, form, any. Of course, this kind of visualizations, visualize, very complicated, absolutely. It doesn't come into your mind. Only it's coming sometimes, most Tibetan peoples, like kind of the visualize how do you say, it's like a refugee field. the field of the meritas. It's not a kind of the deities, Buddha field, only the Momo field. And it's like kind of the Italy's guys, only the pizza field. Belgium we have like kind of waffles. And Georgia is like Khachapuri's field. Russia is Katoshka's field. Japan is the NATO field. And only these things is coming. Visualize, everybody's visualize a different field. It's not really Buddha field. It's substantial field. That is become the merit object we don't know. And only like kind of according to our desire, our like kind of ignorant, our attachment, aversions, created some field, but this is not a Buddha field. And this is making the more negative habitual tendencies in ours. We're using the habitual forming punting. This kind of the punting, making the habitual patterns. Now we should to change, give job mind to meditate, visualize the field of the merit, Buddha field. Very, very important. And maybe may you say, this is really artificial. Yes, absolutely artificial. Everything is artificial in the relative things. You are artificial. I am artificial. Everything is artificial. Artificial is all the time is make causal artificial, result artificial. Everything is like fake, deceptive, relative. That is we call the relative. But in this point of view, it looks like truth. And now, for example, we can say whatever you perceived, we perceived, form, sound, smell, so on. There's 5 object desirables. Whatever we perceived, also artificial. What we perceived, many dirty, pollution, impurities, but that is also not truth, is artificial. These problems that your mind or our mind. Mind is only perceived dirty, impurity, pollution. Maybe externally there's nothing polluted things. Maybe who, where, how. Of course, like outside the phenomena, outside this like kind of appearances, there's no certainties. Absolutely, this is the truth. Like kind of the someone's think, one single object. Maybe I want to say this object. It's like we looked at this object, 5 persons. Each individual person they perceived different way. Someone is this ugly, someone this thing is wonderful, someone thinks middle, someone thinks it's iron, someone thinks maybe water, someone thinks this is earth, rock. But itself hasn't got any different aspect. I don't know, this is iron or spoon. Maybe I call the spoon made some like kind of irons. But maybe some sentient beings is thinking this is earth, digging inside. Maybe some sentient beings they drink, this is water dropped. Who knows this is? Everything is like what we perceived, also is artificial. But we like kind of the believe that, then it's like kind of the mind is holding, then they are continue this impurity, perceptions, appearances there is. But now, making the nice artificial object visualize, we say it's like the Buddha field. Buddha field, the field of the merit. When you are visualize this Buddha field, it can make a lot of meritorious. Meri means it's benefits. If you visualize the Buddha's field, which kind of benefit coming to you? Such a kind of the benefit. You put in habitual forming, imprinting good things. For example, environmental. Now we can say, consider that in your environmental is the Buddha field. Beautiful and pleasant. Beautiful and pleasant. Wonderful. Don't need to think, there is natural disaster. Oh, there are a lot of toilet. Oh, there is a lot kind of awful. Don't say like this. Beautiful. Pleasant. Oh, don't need to say there is war and natural like kind of earthquake, fire, and so on, volcanoes and tsunamis, blah, blah, blah. This kind of. Yesterday we studied natural expressions can occur, but everything's hallucination, like artificial. But now we say it's like everything's pleasant. The sound, smell, all the 5 object desirables, whatever we perceived, everything is very pleasant, wonderful. You need to say wonderful, beautiful. All sort of precious substance, like a kind of the really marvelous sound, precious like substance sound, precious substance of the form, precious substance of the taste. Everything is beautiful and pleasant. And also it's like kind of the what I see, the field. It's ground as the smooth, as the surface of the mirror. And it's like there is a really flat, smooth, no dust, no ash, no rubbish beings. There's nothing kind of the polluter things without any health, just mud, flat. Valley is also not that. There's no kind of the irregularities. Like irregularities, it is like kind of the up, down, and like kind of rules. There's nothing. Free, peace, wonderful. This kind of the environmental place we should to visualize. All the trees, maybe there's trees, wonderful kind of the different flowers, leaf. It's sending nice sound, sending nice smell, and they are like moving by the airs. Air is like kind of the soft and correct temperatures. And also in the forest, there are such a kind of the different birds. Those birds can speak human language, different languages, and they are dancing, singing, very joyfully moving. And also in this kind of the meadows, full of the flowers, grass, different trees, inside such a kind of the animals. They are never kind of killing each other, very smoothly, very much cooperatingly, they are living. When you see like this, you are automatically want to go there, want to be there. It's like kind of naturally, wow, like a kind of yours like a sound is coming, you want to go to there. This kind of the valley field, there is like kind of no irregularities. And then it's like in the middle, there is a very, very wonderful, nice in the front of us. In the middle, the middle and around this world, from of the youth, we are like kind of this field front. grow a vision fulfilling trees. Wish fulfilling trees. Wish fulfilling trees. And this sort of like kind of this tree, it's sometimes in the lands they have this sort of according the like kind of the positive actions. For example, we are often talking in the Pure Land. Maybe also Pure Land there is existence according some very strong meritorious or the virtuous actions. The maturation is there are the wonderful place. And at that times there are naturally, when you're born in there, and then it's automatically your belonging is also appear there as one tree. And this tree is like kind of the grant to yourself whatever you needed, whatever you have wish. You go to the tree, you hot coffee, cold coffee, tea, and fruits, cake, whatever you, or katoshka, kachapuri, or momo, pizza, whatever you need, you be in the tree, it's naturally occurring, hot, cold. This is a kind of the happened. Maybe you say, I don't believe this. Yeah, I believe very much in this world. Like, look, sometimes it is like when we are born in this world, there are such things who arranged. Nothing, nobody's there is created. It is naturally occurring. And we have like kind of automatically in this world, food, clothes, mountains, and according to our like kind of the result. Maybe in the what is the we done in the past, the positive or the something. Now we have like kind of this situation. There is a rice. Who created? Barley. Who created? Wheat. Food. These things. For example, it's like we can to say the animals. They don't need to do. They can eat grass everywhere. Their food is already. And for humans, it's like kind of course you can to eat, survive, but more specifically to making, doing, and yourself like created food. It's so wonderful. Whatever you want to create, you can do. But this is who prepared these things. It's like kind of occurring according to our like some causes in the past. And like we can take example like this. Surely there is some place surely bad because the result of the negative. You say is the hell, hunger, ghosts, animals. Yes, surely they have this situation according to their own past course. And some we say is like a God and like kind of celestial place. Surely they appear this kind of pure land. Therefore also they have the vision fulfilling trees. And like this, now we can to see vision fulfilling trees is not normal tree, precious, substantial, like kind of the appears. Wonderful. 5 great branches, like these trees, spreading from is the trunk, is perfect leaves. The like kind of the like spreading the from is the tongue, and like kind of the everywhere is the spread in the space, full of the in the space, and the on the tongue there is the such kind of the leaf and flowers, fruit, so many things are there. Perfect, extraordinary, perfect leaves. Yellow, green, red, like a kind of different part of the leaves. Flowers, so many different flowers, particularly white flowers. And the fruit, they stretch too far to the east, south, west, and north, that they fill the entire skies. This kind of the full of the sky. Then this kind of we should to visualize. It's like kind of the wonderful way. Insects come into my nose. Oh no. This sort of. And every branches and tick is hanging with a multitude ornament of the jewels. And many kind of the bills. Looks like Christmas trees, exactly like this. And so many in the branches, leaves on the trees. There is the hanging the ornament, different like kind of the precious substantials, jewels, many different kind of the sounds. And on the center branches is the jeweled throne, upheld by the 8 great lions, in the middle in the trunk, and there is like kind of in the lotus, like this trees itself has 5 branches in the middle, east, south, north, and westerns. Middle, this like kind of the 1,000 flowers on the top of that. There's a beautiful thrones, and uphold is like kind of holding by the 8 great lions, like a kind of the each direction is the true lions. 4 directions there's 8 lions is upholding this great throne, seated upon the throne, and the throne on and the seat consisting of multitude lotus, like the under like kind of this throne, which is upholding these 8 lions. Then is top of there is very special cushion, and like kind of the multicolored lotus, like yellow, blue, red, green, and different kind of the colors, lotus. And then is the top of that cushion of the sun and the moon, and is your own glorious root, teacher said. And then is like seated your own individual, your glorious teacher. Maybe it's like here is the, you say it's the glorious, and your own root teacher, incomparable source of compassion. Incomparable. There's no comparable kind of the compassions for yourself. And it is like kind of the glorious for your perspective, more than the glorious of the Buddha for your perspective, your own root teacher. Give education to you, and is like kind of the your glorious teachers build the Dharma in your heart. Any kind of situations supported to you. Happy times also support you, and suffering times also supporting to you. And any kind of you need advice, pit instructions you received, and your glorious teachers open your wisdom eye, give education about what is right, what is the wrong. And through this, it is like kind of the establish you in the impossible state of the Buddhahood. This kind of such marvelous giver things, who can to give to you? Not the father, not the mother, not the friends, nobody's. Only by your glorious own teachers, even the not Buddha Bodhisattvas. They appear on the past, but we unluckily we didn't meet yet. We didn't meet. And presently maybe there's some other Buddha Bodhisattvas we don't meet. According to our past karma, according to our own prayers, we meet our own glorious teacher. We analyze, we check out, and we decided to follow, and also it is such kind of receive the benefit. And therefore we call the glorious root teacher. Incomparable source of the compassion, and incomparable source of the compassion. Incomparable source of the compassion means, of course, it's like kind of the whatever kind of the we need, we received from that. And like maybe we think, oh, my glorious teachers never give me food, never give me clothes, never give me kind of house, never give me the kind of the positions. That is the nothing. We receive the forgive things is much better than this kind of materials. Give education much better than any kind of the materials. And to open the wisdom eyes, we have realization of the what is right is wrong. That is the much better than the gift of the material things. To establish the impossible state of the Buddhahood, that is the we give to ours most highest, most beautiful, most excellent giver of the state positions. Who can to give like this? That is like kind of the we say is like incomparable source of the compassions. Embodiment of all the past, present, future Buddhas. Absolutely at our own individual perspective, our own glorious root teacher. Maybe say someone says, your teacher is a glorious. Who say glorious? I don't know. This is your teacher's glorious. Yes, your perspective is maybe not glorious, but my own individual perspective is glorious. I can tell you that one is like first Patrul Rinpoche's history. He went to in the more eastern Tibet, we call the Ranyak. And there's some monasteries invited Rinpoche and to give like kind of the Pure Land teachings, aspiration teachings. But of course, Patrul Rinpoche is like when you invited, it's not normal way. You cannot to do any welcomes. There's nobody's go to there to bring him. When he's arrived, how he came, nobody knows. And then he is in the Sikuli came. Nobody doesn't know. There is in the more in the below in the monasteries, there's one Dhamma wheel house, very big. And he went to there in the house. There's a big Dhamma wheel, and it's also his rounding. But there is one guy. He's like says the Patrul Dorjinchung's glorious Vajra holder of the Patrul Rinpoche. He's praying. And then Patrul Rinpoche heard that what are you recite? Said, oh, I'm recite my glorious teacher. Tomorrow, I don't know when the day of tomorrow is, he's coming to teaching here. I'm longing, it's like looking forward to see him. So, and you say the glorious, they like kind of the uphold of the Vajra something's Dorje Chos. I don't think so. I saw a few times. He's a very ugly guy, very poor beggar. And said, then this guy said, what are you talking about? You think it's like insult my teacher? And he said, yeah. What you say, the glorious, but glorious. I'm not. They are fighting, argue a lot. And he said, maybe I will kill you. You say like this. It's your perspective. He's maybe but for me, it's like he's a representative Samant, but I want to see him. You again tell me I will kill you. Yeah. You don't need to kill. Okay, you can to see it tomorrow. How he is. People say they are coming. Say, yeah. You don't need to come to see him. Say, yeah, okay. I want to see glory, my teacher, Pater Dorje Chompa. Okay. And then it's like, and the after day, in the evening, I had something. Then there's like the sound of the gongs coming. Everybody is going to in the tent, running. Says maybe Pater Rinpoche's arrived. And then there is like kind of some small thrones. And then is Rinpoche sitting, Pater Rinpoche sitting there. And certainly he was very happy and opened the tent and looked. He argued, guy is on the throne. He was, no, come on, it's my eyes or some illusions. And he's laughing. And he was outside, went outside and coming inside. He saw this, maybe my eyes illusions, surely this person. And then the Pater was calling to come to here. Look, he's really glorious now. You before told me on the Dharma wheel, he's very glorious, extraordinary. And then he's crying, and why you are doing me like this? And then he said, okay, no problems. Like this, it's like, is this what the meaning is? For this person's perspective, of course, Pater Rinpoche, for him, is like glorious. But he said, some other perspective, maybe not glorious, your teacher, but your own each individual teacher, who's give transmission, give education of the Dharma, it's glorious, it's a truth. For example, sometimes modern, now our Westerns, maybe also I want to say it because it's like we have this kind of no culture, who is glorious, what kind of the root teacher, and the kind of it's a really inconceivable source of the compassion, or it's like kind of representative of the Buddha past, present, future. It's a little bit more exaggerated. But in our individual perspective, this glorious own root teacher, for my perspective, inconceivable, my own root teachers. See more and more, it's like inconceivable, but that is but this is individual perspective, yourself. It's like kind of some others to say, I don't know, okay, you said this is your teacher, but not glorious, not representative. Okay, this is your perspective. For example, we can another like kind of Buddha be enlightenment. Everybody's perceived Buddha, but maybe his cousins developed, and other some is like they don't like Buddha. When they see the Buddhas as normal person, they're difficult to perceive the Buddha as the Buddhas. Last time there's one person asked to me questions. If you visit Buddha on the street, how you can to perceive? Maybe if you are like kind of the pure minders, maybe you can perceive Buddha as the Buddha. Maybe you haven't got like kind of any like a pure mind. It's like you're unlucky and like kind of you have in full of the negative emotions. Maybe just like normal street one person and has a body, faculties, like kind of same as the normal usual. But of course inside the Buddha. Like this. This is a little bit we need to think about that. And here is our own individual glorious own root teacher is the representative of the Buddha, which is past, present, futures, appearing in the front form of the great Vijaydhara of the Undiyanas. That is like we transformed into the form of the Undiyana Guru Rinpoche. And for example, Kagyu traditions, they are like kind of Vijaydhara, Dorjinchon, and many kind of the different traditions, they transform and like kind of the, but really it's like some great practitioner of the great perfections. They never transform. They visualize as it is. This is your own root teachers, man or woman, it doesn't matter. It's ugly or the handsome, beautiful. It chooses to visualize as it is, more fast, more quickly, more kind of profound. Why we are here is like a transform because of the dualistic minds. For example, we said, okay, you visualize the Guru Rinpoche. It's a Buddha, pure, surely more easily. Maybe it's like kind of the Guru Rinpoche is like we are considered as Tonka statues and never drink, never eat. Maybe it's like never eat some, it's like kind of the kafirs and natos or the like kind of the camembelts. They never make the natural bombs, anything. It's okay to visualize in your front or the head. And ordinary one is like visualize in the head of my heart, in the bath of my head, or it's a front of the me, like normal, like a form of the ordinary person. This is a little bit for me. It's like kind of very difficult. Okay, then you can transform Vijaydhara of the Orgyen Guru Rinpoche. Your real teacher is like to manifest it like Guru Rinpoche. Then you Guru Rinpoche, you imagine this is your root teacher. Of course, as Yadam deity of the Guru Rinpoche, if you can to take your root teachers, but Guru Rinpoche is appeared a long time ago here. And of course, if we have faith, devotion, can receive the blessing, but Guru Rinpoche cannot teach to us. Guru Rinpoche cannot give education to us. He gave such a profound pity instruction, but without our root teachers, how we can to understand, how we can to learn, it is. And between there is the connector of the need with root teacher. Therefore, Guru Rinpoche, of course, good, but is more is like a good for you is the great your root teacher. That is the very important. Often I say it's like to check the root teachers. In the one we are conversating this kind of situations. If you go in Tibet, of course, even the now modern some like kind of the very much kind of how do you say critical person? Critical person is like kind of the doubtful person, and it's like kind of the arrogant, and particularly arrogant. Arrogant comes from the education, arrogant from the like kind of richness. Arrogant is the like kind of the beauty and handsomeness. And then it's like, I am better than the Buddha. I am better than the teachers. I am better than someone's all the times constantly. I'm intelligent, I'm wise, I'm rich, I'm powerful. Then even the Buddhas appear the front, very difficult to have the faith devotions. And of course, they also thieved, robbed many educations. Why they become the enlightened, like kind of intelligent? Why they are like kind of the learned? Because they studied from the teachers. They're like when they are born, They are like kind of not like this. They rely on the teacher, but they have the wrong metaphors. Teacher is like a mist deer. Teaching is like kind of the musk, themselves like hunters. How they can to get the like kind of the education knowledge from the teacher. Afterwards, my teacher is not glorious. I don't know, just teacher, normal teachers. And why I need to visualize it. We have like this many, because it's like our Westerns. Someone's like really, like kind of reasonably become the Buddhist, understand, they study. They are not kind of the stupid followers. They are really analyzed, checked out everything. They are follow. Once they follow, they keep everything. They are really great being, they're great practitioner. Then we need more talk to them, how it is the like kind of relation with the teachers and students. But someone has a fully of the arrogant, according to the condition. Or I'm civilization, I'm a rich, I'm not depends any other, I'm perfect. This is Tibetan Lamaism and kind of the teacher. Maybe it's like a Hindu tradition, gurus. And this sort of you have idea. Maybe of course this kind of ideas you don't need to follow, you don't need to devotion, you don't need to concerning. Then we're talking about visualizations. It's a little bit useless for you, but someone's perspective maybe is a little bit necessary. We can do continue like this. Okay, we transform into the Vidyadhara of the Orgyen. His body is of a complete white color with a rays gleam. It is the wonderful. Okay, now after that we stop the for like 15 minutes, and thanks your like kind of the patience, and 15 minutes we are paused. Thank you.